what's up my guy? Today we're breaking down Metroid Prime 4's preview, why this new sidekick has fans stressed out, and how the Switch 2 mode changes the game, and if this game still feels like the old Metro or not. Let's get into it. The expectation of Metroid Prime 4 is serious because Retro Studio had to take over after Nintendo took the project away from Bandai. So far everything looks good, but according to some reviewers they are annoyed with this new sidekick called Miles McKenzie. In the VGC preview, Andy Robertson described the opening hour where Samus meets a bumbly Galactic Federation engineer named Miles McKenzie. He's nervous, he cracks a lot of jokes, he shouts obvious hints, and he literally follows you around like a fairy green. For a series that usually gives you almost no spoken dialogue, that is a huge shift, and some people don't like that. Andy straight up says, because to me, it didn't feel much like a Metroid at all. He compares the vibe to dropping a jar type character into something that's supposed to feel closer to a sci-fi horror. Alex Olin talking about how important isolation is in Metroid, then saying the notion is entirely destroyed once you introduce a character that blabbers away at you insensitively. Eurogamer and IGN both praised the visual and puzzle, but worried that the consistent chatter might wreck that quiet atmosphere from Metroid Prime is known for. And on top of that, there is an escort type sequence where Samus has to protect Mackenzie while he hides, and you get rewarded with yet another dialogue scene. For a lot of longtime fans, that sounds like less classic Metroid and more like a 2000 corner shooting with forced NPC segments. At the same time, it's not a total dogpile. GameStop hands-on said Nintendo and Retro understand in the foundation core of Metroid Prime and actually found Mackenzie more endearing than unbearable, focusing the preview on the level designing and ability instead of dunking on the writing. It's called The Game, a surprising magical return to Nintendo legendary series. Multiple previews agree that beneath that goofy sidekick, the minute-to-minute feels like a classic Prime. You're scanning wildlife and architects, reading lore logs, and solving environmental puzzles gated by new ability. The big wildcard is those psychic powers. Between the psychic visor, gloves, and the control beam that lets you bend charge shots mid-air to hit multiple targets, that's just not a key to one door, they're back into combat, traversal, and puzzle. From a technical angle, the Switch 2 enhancements are a big deal for this kind of game. 4K 60 with HDR and quality mode means that all those small environmental clues are easier to spot, and performance mode with up to 120 frames per second makes faster aiming and darting around arenas feel way smoother if your DisplayPort supports it. And a new Joy-Con mouse-like control option. You got a setup that can make scanning headshots and psychic beam striking feels more natural than the old Wii pointer or dual stick only controls. Last thing I want to hit is why all this matters so much for Metro series at all. Because Metro has never been one of Nintendo's mega sellers, not one bit. Even with all the hype around Dread, the game sits a little over 3 million copies and it's only just the best selling Metroid in franchise history. Metroid has never sold similar to Mario or Zelda. And at the same time, Switch has given Metroid a real boost. Nintendo recent financial point out that Metroid on the Switch, Dread plus Prime Remaster has seen a dramatic sales growth compared to the past generation, so Nintendo has a strong reason to experiment. They want Prime 4 to keep the old fans but also reach players on the Switch too. In that content, you can see why they're trying things like a friendlier sidekick or more dialogue, a slightly lighter tone in the spot. It's the same playbook they used when they shook up Zelda with Breath of the Wild or with Mario Galaxy with more cinematic. Tweak that formula to reach a wider audience without totally throwing away what made it special. So I want to call it a Doom, and I want to crown it as a masterpiece off by preview either. It's a big swing for a historical safe series, and we wouldn't really know if it pays off until we see how the whole game balanced quite. So that creepy Metro vibe against the new power friendship energy some previews already talking about. Now I want to hear from you. Are you still day one of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond after hearing about Miles McKenzie, or are you in the wait for reviews mode now? Does the classic Metroid Prime atmosphere of isolation matter more to you than the new psychic power and the 4K and 120 frames per second option on the Switch 2? Or are you fine with a chitter, more emotional Samus adventure as long as the gameplay is nice? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching my guy.